In a week marked by shifting allegiances, buried regrets, and growing tension in Port Charles, the once clear lines between friend and foe begin to blur. As Jason carves out a renewed place for himself in town, his presence threatens more than one man's sense of control, particularly Drew, whose patience and power are steadily unraveling. Meanwhile, gratitude, guilt, and bewilderment ripple through the community as long-held secrets come closer to the surface, setting the stage for a series of emotional reckonings. Jason's return was never going to be easy. But for Drew, it's been something far worse than inconvenient. It's been destabilizing. Drew had come to see himself as the singular figure in the lives of those Jason once held closest: Sam, Scout, even Sonny and Carly. With Jason presumed dead for so long, Drew had stepped into that vacuum with the confidence of a man who thought the past could stay buried. But Jason's calm, unflinching re-entry into Port Charles is doing more than haunting Drew, it's actively dismantling the fragile foundation Drew built his new identity on. At first, Drew tried to play it cool. He projected the image of a man unaffected, extending forced civility toward his brother. But the cracks are showing. Jason's quiet authority, his unspoken bond with Sonny, and his effortless ability to re-establish trust with key players in town, people Drew has spent months trying to win over, are pushing Drew into dangerous emotional territory. There's a growing edge in Drew's tone, an unspoken accusation in every glance he throws Jason's way. It's more than sibling rivalry. It's a power struggle. And Drew is losing. Carly, caught in the middle of this unspoken war, finds herself drawn toward unexpected alliances. In a moment of sincere emotion, she offers a quiet but impactful gesture of gratitude to Jack Brennan, a man she once regarded with distance and distrust. Brennan's support, though not always perfect, came at a time when she needed stability. It wasn't romantic, but it was genuine. And Carly, who so rarely lets her guard down, makes the rare move of acknowledging his kindness without pretense. The gesture doesn't go unnoticed by Brennan, who accepts her thanks with a subtle smile, revealing perhaps more investment in Carly than he's willing to admit aloud. But even as Carly tries to navigate the complicated web around her, others are confronting ghosts of their own making. Lulu, still recovering from both physical trauma and emotional isolation, takes a tentative but important step toward healing. In an unguarded moment, she extends a long-overdue apology to someone she once hurt. It's unclear whether the pain she caused was intentional or simply collateral damage in a life marked by upheaval, but Lulu no longer seeks to justify herself. She only wants to be understood. Her apology is raw and without excuse, and though forgiveness isn't immediate, the courage it took to offer it may prove transformative in her journey toward redemption. Elsewhere in Port Charles, a quieter but no less consequential meeting takes place. Tracy Quartermaine, the grande dame of sharp tongues and sharper strategies, sits down with Martin Gray. On the surface, it's a casual conversation, perhaps even civil. But underneath the politeness is something far more calculated. Tracy has questions, and Martin has answers she suspects he's too smart to give away freely. Their verbal sparring dances between charm and suspicion, as each tests the other's motives. Tracy doesn't trust easily, and Martin, despite his southern charm and smooth demeanor, knows when he's being sized up. By the end of the meeting, it's unclear who's probing whom. But one thing is certain. This won't be the last time they sit across from each other, and the next encounter may be far less cordial. Meanwhile, confusion takes root in the heart of one of Port Charles's younger residents. Giovanni, Gio, Cerullo, son of Brooke Lynn and the late Dante, overhears a conversation that shakes his understanding of his place in the world. What he hears isn't immediately clear to the audience, but its impact is unmistakable. Gio is left silent, shaken, and deeply unsettled. His usual confidence is gone, replaced by a simmering anxiety he tries desperately to hide. He asks no questions, yet. But his expression says it all. He's now aware of a truth that was never meant for his ears. Whether it was about his father, his lineage, or something far more insidious, the revelation has pierced through the safe narrative he believed in. And the longer he sits with it in silence, the more dangerous his uncertainty becomes. Each of these threads, Jason's quiet dominance, Drew's unraveling ego, Carly's reluctant gratitude, Lulu's remorse, Trace's scheming curiosity, and Gio's dawning suspicion, weave together into a rich tapestry of turmoil. Port Charles is never at peace for long, but the undercurrents of this week suggest that something bigger is brewing. Trust is being re-examined, old alliances are crumbling, and hidden truths are inching toward the light. As the town moves forward, questions loom in every direction. Will Drew confront Jason, or will his resentment rot him from the inside? Is Carly opening herself to a new chapter with Brennan, or simply clinging to a fleeting sense of stability? Will Lulu's apology be accepted, or will the past hold her hostage forever? What exactly does Tracy suspect, and why does she care? And most chilling of all, what did Gio hear that shattered the fragile foundation of his young life? Answers may come, but in Port Charles, revelations are rarely gifts. They're usually the start of something darker.